Roki Sasaki made his second start of the spring. Roki Sasaki had his second bad start of the spring. Dave Roberts says the Dodgers aren't worried. I'm not sure that extends to the fan base, but we're going to dig into that. We'll talk about the guys who did look good today, and we will talk about that idiot who got suspended for steroids again, even though he's not a Dodger, just because it's fun to talk about what an idiot he is. All that and more right now on All Dodgers. Coming at you live from my mom's basement in beautiful Pleasant Grove, Utah. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network of podcasts, brought to you by FanDuel. I am Jeff Snider. It's Kevin Skinner is going to be joining me here momentarily. For now, it's just me. I apologize that we're getting started a little bit later than it was scheduled for. When I scheduled it for 7:15, that was when I had the mistaken understanding that my son's baseball practice would end on time. Instead, it ended 35 minutes late. And so here we are starting, 11 minutes late. So I apologize, but you know what? That's all right. What's done is done. And here we are now. We're going to talk about some Dodgers related stuff, some non-Dodgers stuff. We'll talk a little bit about the World Baseball Classic. The teams played some exhibition games against major league teams today, and all sorts of stuff to talk about. Unfortunately, the opening topic is Roki Sasaki, who made his second start of the spring, and it went similarly to the first one. Specifically, he really struggled out of the gate. In this one, he didn't even get any outs in the first inning, gave up 4 runs, 3 walks and a grand slam. And then Dave Roberts came and got him. But because of spring training, he did get to come back out for the second and third innings. So he ended up pitching 2 innings and just allowed those 4 runs. And he actually looked decent in the second and third innings, which is a positive thing. It's also a little bit infuriating to have a guy who clearly has the stuff. And he just can't lock it up. And I said last week after his first start of the spring, I said, I've always thought that the worry about his third pitch is a little overblown for me. That will determine whether he's a starter or a reliever. But the command is going to determine whether he's a big league pitcher. Because the fact is, right now, with the spotty command, like, you're not going to go to him in a 1-run game in the 8th inning or 7th inning or 6th inning if you know there's a chance, he's going to come in and just not throw any strikes, because we saw it with the Michael Kopech experience. We've seen it with Roki Sasaki even last year in the postseason when he pitched really well in relief. He also had that 1 inning against the Brewers where he didn't pitch that well and he struggled and he had to be relieved. And that's the thing that, like, right now, you just can't trust him. And all of that to say, after the fact, Dave Roberts was asked if there was any level of concern there. And Dave Roberts said, I don't think there are concerns. There just has to be continued progression. And let me read the entire quote. He says, well, there's really no concerns. I don't think there's concerns. I just think there has to be continued progression. I do appreciate that he's more open this year. He's voicing his thoughts, which I think is great. But I do think that he still needs to be coached. He still needs to get those experiences. But I think really there's no concern, and just continuing to try to get better each time out. And that's a thing that's hard for a lot of fans to believe. And to not understand. I don't want that. And that sounds condescending. Like, we all know it's spring training. These games don't matter, et cetera, et cetera. And it kind of reminds me of in the regular season when the Dodgers can win a game and they win ugly, and people, instead of being able to enjoy the win, they start worrying, well, if they play like that in October, they're going to get booted. And that's kind of the same way that people are with Roki Sasaki and with anybody in spring training. It's not so much that they think the games matter in the spring. It's you start thinking, okay, but what if this did happen in games that matter? And that's why you want to see progress. And that's why Dave Roberts says they want to see progress. For me, the thing that I can't get past is the fact that in both of these starts, Roki has had dominant stretches within the start. And then he's also had stretches where he just had no clue where the ball was going. I think I fall in the camp of, I think that's a good thing. I think it makes me more optimistic that it's just a command thing, because what that means is it's probably mechanical, and it's probably, if he was just throwing his stuff where he wanted it to and it was getting knocked around, well, then you're like, okay, he's not a major league pitcher, at least not a major league starter. It would be Brock Stewart as a starter when it's like, oh yeah, this guy, not a major league starter. And so that's why they moved him to the bullpen. He ended up being a pretty solid reliever, et cetera, et cetera. That's not the case with Roki. I see people saying, Roy said Roki needs to go to the pen for now and gain some confidence. In the old days, starters came from the pen. Somebody else said that too, that the Dodgers, that Roki should be pitching out of the bullpen. And for me, it's like, I don't know that really does anything. I don't know that he's going to get the confidence he needs pitching an inning out of the bullpen when, I also don't know that I agree with Roy that that's how it used to be done. I mean, everybody would come up, if they came up in September, they'd probably be pitching out of the bullpen. But in general, starting pitchers are starting pitchers, and relief pitchers were guys who proved they couldn't hack it as starting pitchers, whether that's Mariano Rivera or, Goose Gossage or anybody else. They all come up as starters, and then the ones who aren't good enough to be starters end up in the bullpen. These days, I think more guys make that transition in the minor leagues or even at the college level. You have guys who are drafted out of college purely as relievers. That didn't used to be the case very often at all. And so Roki right now, it makes sense to try to have him be a starter, because what we've seen in both of these starts is that when he is throwing the ball where he wants to, he's not unhittable, but he's kind of dominant. And, there obviously still work to be done on the third pitch, all those things, but the fastball is good when he's commanding it. The splitter is unhittable when he's commanding it. And so that's where, Cole mentions most of his pitches in the first inning missed wide right. And that's the same way it was his first start. It's just, missing in the same spot over and over tells me it's probably mechanical, which means it's probably something they can fix. And I don't know if that's something they can fix in March. Hold on, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. If I had a co-host right now, I could have let them talk while I snooze. I think that's past tense of sneeze. But anyway, I don't know if the mechanical issues can be worked through now in spring training, or if it is something that, like I said last time, it might be the right answer to send him to AAA for a while. I saw Richie said something about that. I said it before, I'll say it again. Why are we peeing on our pants? Just let the Dodgers work with him. Where's the rush? If he starts at OKC, then so be it. Yeah, I think that's about right. That if I don't think right now is the time to make the decision, okay, he needs to start in AAA, because we have several more starts that don't matter available in the spring. And will he get it figured out in the spring? I don't know. But there is no AAA right now. There are no AAA games to play in. And so there's no reason to even start thinking about the minor leagues for him until you have to. And maybe with Gavin Stone going down, knowing Blake Snell's down, maybe that even increases the incentive to give Roki a chance to figure it out. But I think they were going to figure it out. I think they were going to figure it out during spring as much as possible anyway. And so that's what they're going to do. And only time will tell whether he is going to figure it out. Vin88 says he's a project. And we all knew that when the Dodgers signed him. Nobody who follows Roki's career, or even the MPB in general, expected Roki to come over and be an immediate ace. He was highly sought after, in high demand, because of his potential, not because of what he's going to be in 2025 or 2026. And I think there's plenty of reason to think or to hope that 2026 will be the year that Roki makes a big impact on the Dodgers. But we don't really know that right now. But I do think that I think people do need to not have knee-jerk reactions every time somebody struggles in a spring training game, to say, oh, send him down, DFA him, whatever, all those things. It's the reason you play the games that don't matter is because they don't matter. And so then you can do things like let a guy give up 4 runs and then bring him back out in the next inning and see, oh, wow, he pitched a lot better. Started with 2 balls in a row, then threw a bunch of strikes in a row, got a couple strikeouts, looked really good. I see somebody in the chat asking about his velocity today, and the fastball topped out at 99.3. It was Vin88 actually asking about the velocity. He topped out at 99.3. All of his fastballs, his 4-seamers sat between 97 and 99 basically, which is kind of what we expect from him. The spin rate, there was a lot of, this is interesting. In fact, I see Kevin is joining right now, so I'm going to let Kevin into the room. Yeah. Hey, Kevin. We were just talking about Roki today, his velocity. It looks like maybe there's some StatCast data questionability going on in spring training, because the pitch that was hit for a home run, a grand slam, says it was a 4-seam fastball at 97.9 miles an hour. It also says the spin rate was 293.
Yeah, I saw that. That's the best looking fastball I've ever seen.
Yeah, and even if you throw that one out, the spin rate on his 4-seamer is anywhere from 1,300 to 2,400 today, which suggested to me that I guess that's possible, but that doesn't seem likely that you'd be getting the same velocity on the same pitch and that much different spin rate. So I guess this is a reminder that spring training for StatCast 2. Kevin, we were just talking about, I was stating my opinion that I'm in the camp of, I'm glad that it seems like it's probably mechanical, that Roki, it's a command issue, because I feel like that is the thing that is most likely to be able to be fixed. If he was throwing good pitches and they were getting knocked around, you'd be like, oh, this dude just sucks. The fact that he can't throw the ball where he wants it to actually might be a good sign. What do you think?
That was the takeaway I had. I obviously, seeing the news that he had to be taken out of the first inning because he walked 3 guys, then gave up a grand slam. You're like, okay, that's terrible, not having watched any of his pitches. And then you look into, okay, well, why did that happen? And it looks like everything he missed was arm side. So while he's missing, he's not spraying it all over the place. It's kind of all in one area. So that leads me to believe there's just something, not syncing up properly with his mechanics, like you had alluded to. And also, as you said, the fact that it's not his velocity or necessarily his pitch shape is also, that's also a good thing, because then if he can just fix the known problem, which we know is it's arm side misses. So if he can fix that, then he should be, a version of fine. It's different. When you look at like Michael Kopech last year, who was missing, and he was missing everywhere, literally like 8 feet above the catcher missing. That kind of point, you're like, we have no idea what to do with this guy, because he's like, there's no consistency there. Roki at least gave us a little bit of consistency. And then, inning 2 and inning 3, he looked great. So there were, I texted you guys, it's the duality of man. There were some obviously very concerning things. He didn't get a single out in the first inning, but the other 2 innings, I think he struck out like 5 guys or something like that, 4 guys.
I think it was only 3, but that's still,
I thought he got a strikeout. Did he not get a strikeout?
Only 2 strikeouts actually, but
I thought he struck out the side in the second inning.
No.
Oh.
River Ryan had 3 strikeouts in his 2 innings, but
like him. But yeah, it's still. I went from, oh my God, Roki exploded on the mound to, okay, there's something there. Somebody asked how old is Roki. I think he's only like 24. He's a kid. He might not. He might even be 23. He's very, 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 very young. So, if you've been watching the show for a while, I had always said that he's a prospect. He's not a polished or finished product whatsoever. So, these bumps in the road, these issues he's having are really not surprising. It is taking a little longer than I would have liked, but hey, everybody does everything at their own pace.
Longer than we would have liked, not necessarily longer than we would have expected. Roki is 24. He's exactly 3 years to the day older than my daughter. That's how I remember. He was born in a post 9/11 world, but barely. It's one of those things where would have loved to see more progress today in the second start, but it would. I think I said last week, if it's late March and we're still saying sure would love to see some progress here, then that's when you start thinking about, okay, he's probably starting the season in Oklahoma City. But the fact that he was able to make in both starts, he was able to make adjustments and dial in the command, maybe it's something different in the warm-ups, in your pregame bullpen session to, get the crap out of the way in the bullpen instead of in the first inning. I don't know. But somebody in the chat said, Nufo says, this is why we have Mark Pryor. Roki will be fine.
Yeah. I mean, we saw a similar pattern with Kenta Maeda. I think he was like a 500. He gave up like a 500 batting average on his first pitch. And like he had like a crazy high OPS in like specifically the first inning. And then afterwards he was fine. And that's kind of why eventually he ended up leaving the Dodgers, because the Dodgers wanted him to be a long reliever. Anyway, Kenta had a great career. Love Kenta Maeda. The point is, sometimes this is just the pattern guys have. They struggle working themselves into the game, and then once they've established themselves in the game, they're fine. We might just need Roki to figure out how to get the first 3 outs, and then we'll be good.
Yep. Yeah, which all of which is maybe an argument against sending him to the bullpen. Hey, you know how he sucks in the first inning? Let's just do that. Let's only let him do that inning.
Only do the first inning.
A couple super chats.
Unfortunately, he had success out of the bullpen. But
Ray Soto, $1.99 super chat with no comment. Just want to give us money. We appreciate that. JY Kim has a good point in his $5 super chat. Roki said in his interview that his upper body usage was off and corrected for it starting in the second inning. He's identifying and tweaking issues. And I think this is why they have the rule in spring training. Go ahead and take your pitcher out and talk with him and let him come back in next inning, start fresh, because the whole point of spring training is to get ready for the regular season. And that's what Roki did today. And so, like I said, the big key will be, can he take the things he learned between the first and second innings today and do it from the get-go in his next start? If he could do that, I think all of us will start to feel a little bit more confidence. Okay, this guy might figure it out. Doesn't mean ace level, but what we need from Roki this year is solid number 6 starter. And
yes, exactly.
The stuff is definitely more than there to be a solid number 6 starter.
Exactly. Once he started landing his fastball, everything else played. It's the key. The straw that stirs his drink is his fastball, and it's not the shape of it. It's the location. It's being able to locate it, preferably high. But if he, lives low, that's fine. It's going to come down to that. And it's good that we saw some form of adjustment. So he identified a problem, fixed the problem. That's always good. It's better than, going out there and doing the exact same thing. And the next time, it doesn't have to be perfect, but hey, maybe don't walk 3 guys. Maybe just walk 2 and not give them a homer. The floor is so low for the first inning in his next outing. Let's just see something. Let's just show me something.
Yeah. Cole in the chat mentioned Yamamoto. He says Yamamoto has bad first innings too. You look at Yamamoto's career splits. His ERA in the first inning is 4.15. It's also bad in the third inning. First and third innings, 4.15 and 4.80. Every other inning, under 2. Well, 235 in the second, under 2 the rest of them. So yeah, it's an issue a lot of pitchers have, honestly. We've seen this with a lot of guys, and where people have said, well, maybe he needs an opener, this and that. And usually the answer is just figuring things out, how to come out guns blazing. And honestly, that's kind of determines a lot of times the difference between a successful starter and not, is being able to make those adjustments so that you are ready to come into the game, ready to go.
It's why starting's so difficult, because starters have to find that balance of being really effective early, but then being able to maintain that for 6 innings ideally. Whereas a reliever can just go out there and just throw as hard as you can for 1 inning. I'm sure Roki easily today could have touched 101 multiple times, but then he might have only had an inning and a half in him, depending on how his arm's feeling afterwards. So it's tough for pitchers to gauge, and that's why for them feel is so important.
Yeah. Dodgers Everything in the chat says this is one of the reasons why Roki chose the Dodgers, so he could be developed and not rushed or thrown out to sea. And that might be. I don't know what went into Roki's decision, but I do think that's a benefit of being with the Dodgers, where he's not expected to be the number 2 or number 3 starter on the team. He can be the number 6 starter, or even it doesn't hurt the Dodgers at all if he does have to spend some time in Oklahoma City. They can, all these things are options, and that might not be with another team. $4.99 super chat from our buddy Raul Robles. He says Roki got unfair expectations because experts said if he waited 4 years, he could earn a contract similar to Yama. There's, and he does put experts in quotes there. It's a lot of people say a lot of things about things they don't know a lot about. That's the nature of social media for sure. And it's the nature of the podcast sometimes. Not this one, of course.
Of course. Never had
Present company excluded. We only talk about things we know about. Speaking of things we know about, you and I both big aficionados on FanDuel.
Yeah, huge, massive, biggest dueler on the planet.
I noticed they have WBC odds up over on FanDuel now. And right now, the USA is the favorite to win it all. They are at -110. I'm a little surprised you got Japan at +380 and the Dominican Republic at +390. I think the DR is underrated there. And so that's probably your value play there.
Yeah, I think part of it has to do with I don't know if their pitching or their rotation is as deep, but like if you look at the Team USA's, theirs isn't either, with Derek Skubal throwing like 55 pitches and then leaving. Nolan, they're going to ride the arm of Nolan McLean, he's a great prospect. I think he might have had a full year last year, or he looked good in I Bleav with the Mets. But, it's not like Paul Skeens is throwing like 4 games for Team USA. It's not all that's cracked up to be. There is a real chance we see a healthy dose of Clayton Edward Kershaw.
And that's why he's there. He's the one guy who doesn't have to worry about pitching in the regular season after this. And so he can go out there and just leave it all on the field, get that work in that he thought he was going to get in Game 7 of the World Series when he thought that the Blue Jays had tied the game and he was coming in to face Dalton Varsho. So, I think that'll be interesting to watch. I'm really interested to watch how these odds change as we get a little bit closer, because I do think, USA is favored mostly because of the rotation probably. And obviously you got Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. and, a ton of great baseball players. That's the great thing about this. Like, you've got all 6 teams that show up on this first page of odds: USA, Japan, Dominican Republic, Venezuela, Mexico, and Puerto Rico. There's some really, really fun players on all those teams.
The TR's lineup is crazy good. And also a lot of current and former Padres on that lineup, funny enough.
Yep. There are 6 teams tied for the worst odds to win it all at +40,000. That's Australia, Great Britain, Israel, Czechia, Nicaragua, and Brazil. So,
I think we talked about it last time. The answer to the question of can Nike come up with better WBC uniforms is a resounding no. They are some of the ugliest uniforms I have ever seen.
Yeah, and
it's
that's
very
right.
unfortunate.
Yep. But thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring the show. And with that said, let's talk more about
Nike. If you want to sponsor us, I'll take back that comment, by the way.
Depending on how much the sponsorship is. Yeah. If you want to sponsor us, we'll fire Kevin.
Yeah. Ooh, ouch.
Hey, an apology may not be enough, Kevin. I gotta tell you, for sponsorship dollars, there's not much I wouldn't do. Not many people I wouldn't fire
for Phil Knight's money.
Yeah. So the rest of the Dodger game today, after Roki allowed 4 runs in 4 batters in the first inning, the rest of the game went pretty well. The Dodgers pitching didn't allow another run, and the Dodgers offense scored 5 runs. And hashtag math that says that means Dodgers won 5-4. Obviously, the wins don't matter because they are meaningless games. But we saw some fun stuff. We saw a 2-run homer from Miguel Rojas, his first home run since a certain home run that I might have seen a million times and hope to see a million more.
Literally never scroll past it.
Yeah, you just got to watch it. Zach Earhart continues to be very interesting. He had an RBI or 2-run triple. I think that tied the game. And then Wardo drove him in with a base hit right after that. All in all, like it wasn't a dominant offensive game. Dodgers only had 7 hits, but they did have 6 walks too, which definitely helps. The Dodgers are good at capitalizing on walks. But for me, the big story of the game was the pitching. Starting with Roki in the second inning, I mean, even starting with Wyatt Crowell in the first inning. Crowell or Crowell, I don't know. I'm just assuming he's Rodney Crowell's son. Rodney Crowell? Oh, Crowell is Crowell. So let's say it's Crowell, because I assume he's Rodney Crowell's son, and I like Rodney Crowell. Do you know who Rodney Crowell is, Kevin?
No. That sounds like a guy who existed before electricity.
He's a country singer. He's more famous as a songwriter. Do you know the song "Please Remember Me" by Tim McGraw?
No.
Rodney Crowell.
I don't know a lot of anything by people whose last name starts with MC.
You could have stopped it. I don't know a lot of anything. We're good with that. Rodney Crowell recorded "Please Remember Me" in 1995, and it was one of my favorite songs. And then Tim McGraw put it out in 1999. I was watching the Country Music Awards with my roommates, and they announced here with his brand new single, "Never Before Heard," it's Tim McGraw. And he starts singing, and I started singing along, and my roommates thought I was a wizard. Like, they just said it's never been heard before. How are you singing along? This is one of my favorite songs 4 years ago by Rodney Crowell. All of which say Wyatt Crowell is probably the son of Rodney Crowell. And he came in, struck out 2 batters to get out of that first inning. And then River Ryan, no hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts in 2 innings. Tanner Scott, 2 strikeouts in an inning. Will Klein, 2 strikeouts in 1 inning, perfect inning. And Ronan Kopp got the save. All in all, like, it was a really good day for Dodgers pitchers after those first 4 hitters.
Yeah. Yeah, we could talk about, you could probably cherry pick any of them in a vacuum, talk about how good they were. I mean, to me, the standout's River Ryan, just seeing him come back and just look like he didn't just miss almost 2 years of baseball. That's, very encouraging, as is, Tanner Scott, a huge, question mark X factor for the year is what are the Dodgers going to get out of Tanner Scott? If Tanner Scott looks anything like he did with the Padres or Marlins, this bullpen is going to be absolutely gross. I mean, the game ends after 6 innings at that point. With guys like Tanner Scott, Vesia, Edwin Diaz. Trinidad's look not bad either, but we'll see. So that's something to look out for. And it was a good day for pitching. I'm really hopeful that River Ryan and with the news about Gavin Stone, Blake Snell, he might get some runway. River Ryan, that is. So I'm really hopeful he does, because I want to see what he's got.
Yeah, absolutely. An interesting one is the pitcher I didn't mention, Antoine Kelly. He pitched the 8th inning. This was his 3rd game this spring. He has allowed 0 runs, 3 innings, 4 strikeouts, no hits, just 1 walk. Antoine Kelly is an interesting guy. He's brand new to the Dodgers organization. He has bounced between the Brewers, Rangers, and Rockies in his 5 years of professional baseball, 6 years, I guess. He's been bad everywhere he's gone. specifically because he walks everyone. Like, you could go up against Antoine Kelly last year and work a walk. He has in the minor leagues in his career, 5.8 walks per nine. At the AAA level, 7.6 walks per nine. Also, like, his career strikeout per nine is 11.8. Dude strikes out a lot of guys, just walks way too many guys. And so I doubt that Antoine Kelly is in serious consideration for an opening day roster spot, but in a very small sample size, he's not walking everybody in the world.
No one knew who Will Klein was until he put on the mask.
Yeah, get Antoine Kelly in Oklahoma City and see if they can lock in this command. Like,
yeah,
it could be a name to remember. I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't see anything on his pitch metrics because StatCast doesn't have anything on him because he hasn't really had any major league time. So it's be curious to see, what they saw, if it's a pitch mix change or it'll be interesting because I'm sure if and most likely when he does make a major league appearance, they'll talk about what they needed to change or what his delivery or something.
Today he was just fastball slider. Fastball's about 98, ranged from 96.9 to 98.4, and the slider is 86-ish miles an hour. It's there's tough. Some decent induced vertical break, decent spin rate. He's got good stuff, and so for a relief pitcher, so he's a guy I'm not going to get too excited about right now, but I am gonna.
You're intrigued.
I'm making a mental note to make sure I remember his name, so that if he does get called up, oh yeah, I remember in spring training he looked pretty good, and the River Ryan is a guy who. Like, he continues to impress. He looked even better today than he did in his first start. I guess it was a start. This one wasn't a start. This was a piggyback. He was supposed to be going right after Roki Sasaki, and he did, just with Wyatt Crowell thrown in there in the middle. Fun thing is, Roki Sasaki found a way to get around the rule that says the starting pitcher can't get the win unless he goes 5 innings. Starting pitcher, but also relief pitcher. So Roki got the win today, despite being the starting pitcher and only throwing 2 innings. Because he was also a relief pitcher. As if anybody cares about that. Dumb sport. Yeah. The only thing less important than team win-loss record in spring training is pitcher win-loss record in spring training.
Yeah.
But
I love when people put up spring training stats at the beginning of the year because that's all they've got. And you're like, none of this matters.
And it is, it's Andy Pa has made a splash in spring training, and it probably got him to the major leagues quicker. Going back to Yasiel Puig. Yasiel Puig's huge 2013 spring training is why he got the call up in June of 2013. And, so it can make a difference, but you got to take it all with a grain or two of salt. Have you watched Tanner Scott's? I assume you didn't get to watch the whole game today.
I saw clips of Tanner Scott's outing. His slider looked really gross.
Yeah.
The couple clips I saw.
He did walk a dude, gave up a hit, but all in all, he threw, where is it? Pitches. There it is. 19 pitches, 12 for strikes. We'll take that ratio from Tanner Scott.
That's the Tanner Scott experience. He's going to walk a lot of guys. He probably will give up some soft contact. It's supposed to usually not be very loud. He's also going to strike a lot of guys out. So yeah, if you get 19 pitches, 12 strikes, yep. Anything north of 55%, you kind of have to take.
Yeah, he walked the first guy he faced and kind of looked like he was all over the place. There was actually ball 3, according to the K zone, was a strike. It wasn't challenged. But the other 3 balls, he wasn't earning those borderline calls with his spray pattern the rest of the pitches. He walked that dude, but then after that, it was strike out Nolan Jones, give up a single, and then strike out, fly out. If you're going to get 2 strikeouts in an inning, the time to get them are with 0 and 1 outs. Because once you have 2 outs, all outs are the same. But strikeouts with 2 runners on base and 1 out, that is what we call a big strikeout. And that was big. So again, it's 1 game, and Tanner Scott still has a long way to go, especially to prove himself to a lot of fans who were
He,
gun shy. But
yeah, the less noise he's making this spring, the better. If he just flies completely under the radar in spring training, I think that's overall a win, because at that point, no one is screaming how bad he is, or no one's talking about his, like you mentioned, his spray pattern or anything like that. So as long as he just kind of keeps doing what he's doing, don't put up any crooked numbers, just be a guy, I'm fine with it. Because he's also probably somebody that, yes, results matter, but there's gonna need to be a feel component for him, because if he can land his fastball and then his slider plays, then he'll be fine. He's probably doing some form of that. He's probably trying to approach each batter relatively the same, just trying to like lock in mechanics.
yeah, his fastball was anywhere from 96 to 97.7. Slider, he's got some StatCast issues there too. According to this, he threw one slider at 91.3 miles an hour with a spin rate of 47. That would it got called for a strike. But yeah, I suspect it wasn't quite that.
I saw somebody with a spin rate of 12 today. I was like, oh, StatCast is broken, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, like you said, the slider looked good. And with Tanner Scott, because, Alex says Tanner has a long way to go. In some ways, that's true. A long way to go to regain the trust of the fans, for sure. Probably less long to go to regain the trust of Dave Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
I do think Dave Roberts is a little bit more locked in on reality when it comes to pitchers than fans are, because Dave Roberts' job title isn't short for fanatic, and fans is, but he doesn't have a long way to go as far as being ready for the regular season, because like we've talked about with several relievers, he's not building up to anything. He threw an inning today. That's his job. And so I'm sure there's things that he will feel more comfortable, things he's working on. But the fact is, relief pitchers are about ready for the season to start at this point. It's the rest of the guys who still need spring training.
Yep. And he's, he was touching 97, which is good for spring training. We know his fastball could get into 98. So he's probably also maybe holding some stuff back. So it's all feel for relief pitchers. Probably, like you mentioned, probably matter the least in spring training. It does, like, they got like, especially for guys like Tanner Scott, Blake Trinan, all these guys, like, they know they're on the roster. They're not going anywhere. So they just need to make sure that their body is where it needs to be for regular season action.
Absolutely. Let's get into the chat a little bit. When I was talking about Tim McGraw, Rodney Crowell, Mr. Buddha helpfully said, not everybody's a hillbilly, Jeff. I am one of them Southern California hillbillies.
The Beverly Hillbilly.
Yeah.
New one.
Somebody with the same last name as me says that Please Remember Me is one of her favorite songs too. And Tim McGraw's a poser.
How you spell poser?
That's how people like Joy Snider spell poser. It's one of those that falls under it's technically correct, which is the best form of correct. She has the same last name as me and the same parents as me. That's my little sister Joy. She's got strong opinions about almost everything you can imagine, including apparently Tim McGraw. And Vin88 says, I bet $1 million that the Giants would beat Team USA. How did I do? And then Vin followed up with a $5 super chat, answering his own question. Giants playing Team USA looked like Bugs Bunny playing against the Gas House Gorillas. I loved it. LOL. Yeah, it was, I watched that game for a little bit. I just had it on the back. I was working, but I turned it on my laptop and just kind of had it sitting there while I was cooking. And yeah, the Giants kept it close for a little bit, but ultimately Team USA is a little bit better. Believe it or not, a team with Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt and Cal Raleigh and Paul Skeens is better than
Bryce Harper,
the San Francisco Giants.
The non-elite Bryce Harper.
Yeah. All sorts of stuff. I guess anything else you want to say about the Dodgers game today before we go to non-Dodger stuff? Because there's some non-Dodger stuff to talk about.
Okay, let's just get into it.
Jurickson Profar. We know he's a piece of crap. We know he's an idiot. We know he's all those negative things. I didn't know how dumb he was until today. Like last year when he got suspended for PEDs, I started to suspect, oh, maybe he's an idiot. Today when he got suspended for the second time for PEDs, probably ended his career today, because the fact is he's never had a good season that didn't come just before he got suspended for PEDs, and now he's been suspended twice. Is there any chance that any team is going to say, you know what? I like Jurickson Profar's chances to have a good season this year. Let's sign that dude.
Rockies need outfielders.
The Rockies had him and they DFA'd him 2 years ago.
Yeah, but now they can pay him even less money.
Yeah,
because he gets the league minimum now. Because the Braves will be on foot the bill for next year for 27, assuming there is a 2027. In baseball terms, not the world isn't going to explode as we know it. If there's a 2027 baseball year, Braves will foot the bill. A team like Rockies could foot it. I don't know. It wouldn't be me. I wouldn't sign him. There's no way you can introduce that guy into a clubhouse and not every single person in that clubhouse just looks at him with at least a side eye. And you can't tell me he walks into a clubhouse and there's not a single pitcher that is happy he's there, because that what we presume is his PED season 2024 2023, excuse me, with the Padres.
24.
20, was it 24?
Yep.
Yeah, 24 with the Padres. He probably tagged a few pitchers that he shouldn't have, and I'm pretty sure on every team there's at least one of them, and they're not going to be happy to see him. So, as much as fans think it's dumb, the other people who are playing it straight think it's even dumber.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Ray Soto says that explains the 2024 roid rage in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know if it was roid rage. It might just be symptoms of the same stupidity. But yeah, I think he probably knew he was playing on borrowed time. Like with how the league tests so much these days, and I'm sure there's still guys who get away with some things.
Yeah.
But the fact is, I always see whenever somebody gets suspended, people are like, oh, this drug testing program doesn't work. People are still using PEDs. For me, it's evidence that it does work, because the dude just got suspended for using PEDs. His career is over now because he keeps using PEDs. And so Alex says if the Braves are on the hook for the bill, I wouldn't be surprised if the Padres sign him. No, the Braves aren't on the hook for anything, because he, I don't know, is he under contract after? He is one more year after.
Yeah, it's 1 year and 27. Yeah.
So next year, maybe the Braves keep him around. I don't know. It's hard to see. Like, you probably cut your losses and just say, all right, see you later.
I
what an idiot.
Like, how do you can't sell it to the fans? You can't sell it to the clubhouse. I mean, maybe the Padres, because he's got a relationship with a lot of the guys in there, he could maybe pass it off. But even then, like, you signed Profar back, and the already, Barnum and Bailey's adjacent clubhouse just adds a 2-time PED offender. I don't know.
Rich in the chat says, he asked this in the Discord earlier, says, are players going back to juicing, or is the testing program ramping up? 2 PED hits today. Obviously, if they continue doing 2 a day, that will feel like a lot. But overall, you look over the last several years, and if anything, it's going down. The early years of testing, 2005, 2006, there were a lot of suspensions, but like from 23 to 25, there were only 5 suspensions total. That's the fewest in a 3-year span since 2008 to 2010. I think it's just, we think about it when it happens, and then we forget about it, and then it happens again, and you're like, oh, this seems like this happens a lot, but I think it's just recency bias here.
Yeah, and I mean, there's always you got to test for a lot of things too, and a lot of masking agents you got to test for. And I'm sure there are chemists and doctors out there who are always trying to find the next, way to mask or hide or, come up with a different performance enhancing drug because people will pay for it. So it's a tough business, and I don't think it's getting any better. It's like, in terms of like, I don't think that the testing is necessarily getting any better. I also just think that the players are kind of not caring a little bit.
Jamie or Jaime Gonzalez in the chat says, can his contract be voided after getting popped? No, the benefit to the Braves is they don't have to pay him while he's suspended. But yeah, the whole point of the suspension program, that is the discipline. Teams aren't allowed to impose their own discipline for this stuff. No team has ever really tried to do it, but there would be a grievance and the team would lose the grievance. It's just the nature of the beast. Baseball contracts are guaranteed. But that's why it's like, Profar is definitely never getting a multi-year contract again.
No.
There may be a team that takes a chance on him. But although I guess the next suspension would be his career is literally over. And so maybe he's more likely to a multi-year contract because the team knows, well, there's no risk because if he gets suspended, then we're off the hook for the whole thing anyway. But what an idiot. Just such an idiot. Like,
I don't get it. You have life-changing money at your fingertips. And when this news comes across, there's no explaining his way out of it. It's either he's dumb and knowingly did it, or he unknowingly did it, which is still dumb because if a trainer handed it to him or whatever, having gotten popped for PEDs before, he should have gone through the team doctors to make sure that it wasn't on the banned substance list. So there's no way that you can't feign ignorance. And the other option is you knew about it. Both are bad.
Yeah. So Profar has made about $41 million in his career. With this suspension now, he will have cost himself $21 million in suspensions. And obviously, he's probably not going to go to the poorhouse with his only having made $41 million bucks. Plus, he's got that $15 million coming next year if he can just keep from doing steroids, even if he's terrible. And hopefully he's smart enough to just be terrible next year instead of using PEDs again and losing that next year's $15 million bucks. But man, what a dummy. And couldn't happen to a nicer guy, Like, really, some dumb people, you feel bad for them.
Why is it always the loudest guys too?
Yeah.
It's never just like a guy trying to get by. It's always somebody who has to wag his tongue at the fans or like cause issues with fans. It's always something like that, or just make it about themselves. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Well, it's always the loud ones.
Yeah, people in the chat are talking about the Players Association sticking up for him. JY Kim says, why is the union challenging Profar's ban? Why stick up for him? Yeah, that's the nature of a union. They have to stick up for all their members, even though the individual members of the union probably aren't very happy with Profar right now, but they also are probably glad to know that, if something happened to me, and the fact is, it is possible to have a false positive test. And so we have no way of knowing if anybody's ever actually been suspended for a false positive. Ryan Braun actually won an appeal and then later found out that he was lying through his teeth. And, that guy's a piece of garbage too. But it's possible that somebody has been suspended for something, either a false positive, or I'm sure there's been guys who actually genuinely didn't know they were taking. I don't think it's a coincidence that a lot of these suspensions go to guys who don't live in the U.S. in the off season, because I do think supplements maybe aren't as well regulated, and it's still on them. Like they know, don't take anything if you can't absolutely verify what's in it. But I'm positive that some guys get some supplements when they're living in a third world country in the off season, and that costs them. I don't think it happens twice though. I think, this one, Jurickson Profar, it's a case of a dude being an idiot. And, that's
quality of country aside, I think there is always a language barrier. There, how things are regulated is different from country to country. So
Yeah, and that's all I mean is the regulation. Like
yeah,
there's in the Dominican Republic, it's easier to get supplements with less regulation, and so you do have to be very, very careful about what you're putting in your body when you are a professional athlete in a league that tests for performance and enhancing drugs. A lot of them. Ray Soto sent us another $1.99. Thank you, Ray. We also have a $2 super chat from Don't Care 187. Says, boo Kevin's Cubs and favorite player PCA Day, April 26th. That is a reference too. If you want the details, you're going to have to join the Discord. But the Discord's first meetup of the year will be happening on April 26th. And for all the details, you got to join the Discord, which you can do by going to patreon.com/realfrg. $5 a month gets you access to the Discord server where they are planning that meetup and all of those details. So, and we're talking about baseball today. Today's fun episode of an argument that's really just two guys who define a word differently, but they're talking past each other, was about who's better, Will Smith or Roy Campanella. So, if you want to know about that argument, be sure to check out the Discord. But there's also conversations that don't make you want to stick a fork in your ear and keep pushing till you hit resistance. Did I break up? Yeah. Did you break up?
I don't know. Something. I don't know if my side died or something. Kick can.
We did see earlier in the chat, BC just said Jurickson, Mr. Irrelevant Profar. Will Smith is looking like looking prophetic with that comment. Jurickson Profar just gets less and less relevant with every day that goes on. I think there was one other comment that I had starred earlier about Profar, but I can't find it now. So that's all right. We did see, so before you hopped in today, Kevin, I had to sneeze. And so I just had to mute it because I didn't have anybody here to talk while I sneezed. So when you showed up, Dirty Don says you can sneeze again in peace. And of course, I haven't had to sneeze since you got here, but it's nice to know that if I do need to, I can say, hey, Kevin, talk for a minute while I sneeze. And if there's one thing I know you're not afraid of, it's talking for a minute.
True.
Yeah.
Big talking guy over here. Huge talker.
Yeah. As we mentioned, a lot of teams, WBC teams played exhibition games today. We talked about the Team USA game. I don't need an ad, MLB.com. Thank you very much. We had... This is the worst. Let's go to this page. So the United States beat the Giants 15-1. I think I see though that the Giants played another game, so that wasn't even full Giant. Oh no, it was their full team. 15-1 there. Team Israel beat the Marlins 1-0. There were 7 total hits in the game, so that's interesting. The Yankees beat Team Panama 11-1. The Pirates
and Aaron Judgeless.
Yeah.
Yankees.
The Pirates beat Team Colombia 7-1. The Netherlands beat the Orioles 8-5.
Ooh.
The Blue Jays beat Canada 10-7.
That you can't have Canadian.
I wonder violence. Which team was the better team there. I guess it must have been Team Canada since they lost, and it's always in Canada the better team always loses, from what I've heard on social media. The Mets beat Nicaragua 6-3. The A's beat Brazil 14-4.
The A's can hit. Like the A's offense is going to be fun to watch this year. I'll give them that. Their pitching might be a tragedy or travesty, but they're going to be fun to watch.
A little bit of both. What I'm trying to figure out is how is a guy named Bo Takahashi pitching for Team Brazil?
Because they didn't need him on Team Japan.
He was born in Brazil. His name is Rodrigo Hitoshi Takahashi. So I suspect, and he never made it to the big leagues. He did pitch in Japan. Pitched in the Diamondbacks minor league system about a decade ago, but then went to Japan for several years. That's interesting. I wonder if Wikipedia, anybody who's listened to my dumb podcast I did with my brother knows that my favorite thing to do during a podcast is Wikipedia things and find out what to know. Rodrigo Hitoshi Bo Kaimori Takahashi is a Brazilian professional baseball pitcher for the Saitama Seibu Lions. Show me, where's the personal life? He's a Brazilian of Japanese descent. He's fluent in English, Portuguese, and Spanish, and can also understand Japanese. All right, so that's why he's pitching for Team Japan. Or Team Brazil, I mean. Not Team Japan. What other... I'm trying to get back to the scores page now because most of the teams played today. The Royals beat Team Cuba 4-0.
Ooh.
Team Italy beat the Cubs 9-4. Great Britain beat the Brewers 7-3. That's
I don't know who's on.
Team to watch. Mexico beat the D-backs 6-3. The Dominican Republic beat the Tigers 12-4. Puerto Rico beat the Red Sox 5-3, and the Astros beat Venezuela 3-1. So kind of a mix. Like the national teams went about 500 against major league teams today, and fun time. The Dodgers have a game coming up, don't they? Against?
Do they?
I thought they had one. I could be wrong about that, but they play Mexico tomorrow. Yeah.
It doesn't pop up on Google. We play Team Mexico tomorrow? Sweet.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
Dodgers against Team Mexico.
Or are they playing at Camelback?
Yeah, at Camelback.
Oh, those got to be fun tickets to get. That would be a great time.
Yeah, it looks like the cheapest seats are $137.
That
right
makes
now.
a lot of sense.
All the lawn seats are sold, and so I mean, there's no bad seats in that stadium, so $137 isn't terrible, but it's a spring training game, so.
Yeah, but that would be a lot of fun to be a part of that crowd because anything Team Mexico does, they're gonna go crazy.
Yep. Yeah, like I was telling the other day, back in 2013, I went to Mexico versus the Dodgers game at Chase Field, or maybe no, they weren't playing the Dodgers; they were playing the D-backs but it was at Chase Field, and that place was full and. No, it wasn't even. Never mind. It was an actual WBC game. Now that I remember, because it was Mexico against Team USA, is what it was. So, and it was crazy. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you get the national teams involved. People show up. So it's so exciting.
For sure. DC says he hopes Will Smith is asked about Profar suspension and just says who. I think that would be.
I don't think Will Smith has that level of wit.
Well, he might say who and actually be serious. You know?
Like, wait, who? Yeah.
Yeah, he might not. Rosman is diagnosing network issues, says IP packets didn't go through, you know. Ask my wife, man. Latency has always been my issue. JR says, I want to ask Jeff and Kevin, do you believe Profar has zero knowledge he took illegal substances? That's impossible. He got popped twice now. Hope this gets read. Yeah, I don't believe it. I believe it can happen once. If he really did it accidentally twice, he's even dumber than we're giving him credit for.
Yeah, there's no right answer. I don't know. I'm not about to give him the benefit of the doubt. The honest answer is I don't know. And truthfully, I don't care because it's either way, it's really dumb.
Yeah, so dumb. Raul $4.99 super chat says, that reminds me, Jeff, here's a super chat for your NIL.
Nice.
Over one other thing that you can find in the Discord is a lot of AI generated images of mostly me. Somebody said that I'm so old. I used to like ride a dinosaur to school or something. And so somebody used AI to generate a picture of me riding a T-Rex. I hope it's a baby T-Rex because that T-Rex isn't nearly as much bigger than me as I feel like it should be. It's actually a pretty cool image. I may make it like my Twitter avatar or something. It's pretty good. They also have one of me as Matt Foley, motivational speaker. There's some of there do all sorts of stuff. Me and Clint as like Muppets and as Simpsons characters doing this show. AI is, we're definitely using too much water, having data centers in the Discord. And so at least Raul has given us $5 for using my name, image, and likeness. Closest I'll ever come to being a college athlete. Sam says Dodgers need another pitcher or six for the 6-man rotation. Lucas Giolito is available. He is available. There's a reason for that. And probably not going to happen. They're probably
3 years
looking for
ago
good pitchers.
at the trade deadline, sure.
Yeah,
But
he's a living pitcher, but not a good pitcher.
Yeah.
Um,
It is funny that depth already. Oh, it's getting thin.
Nicole says maybe Profar can get traded back to the Padres after suspension's over. They like second chances of that nature, though now it would be the third. Yeah, I mean, it's the only place he's ever been happy.
Yeah.
So go for it.
Good. I don't know, man.
I'm just scrolling through the chat. You got anything else from today that we need to talk about, Kevin?
No, I want the WBC here. I can't wait to talk more WBC stuff.
Yeah. Tomorrow should be fun. Dodgers against Team Mexico. Get a feel for that. And Julio's not pitching for Team Mexico, is he?
Does he even exist still? He's not on. No, he's not on the Mexico roster. He's not.
Okay.
But I don't know where he is.
Let's see who's on Team
Hopefully
Mexico's roster.
Nowhere
If there's anybody.
women.
There's obviously plenty of guys I've heard of. You know, a lot of big league pitchers. Andres Munoz is probably the best pitcher on there. Victor Vodnik is on there too. So they got a couple guys who throw 100. They also got Taijuan Walker, who Victor Vodnik and Taijuan Walker are both Americans who have enough Mexican descent that they, not quite what Tim Neverett said the other day. They were talking about, talking about who's managing the Italian team. I don't remember who the manager is, but whoever it is.
Jorge Posada?
Maybe. No.
Pretty sure it is.
And
the only reason I think I saw a picture
Francisco Cervelli. You got the wrong Yankees catcher. And Tim Neverett said Francisco Cervelli is not Italian, but he's got an Italian name, so he's managing Team Italy. Like, it's got to be more than just an Italian name, you know. But they do have to have some sort of ethnic tie to the country. Alejandro Kirk is their starting catcher, obviously. Jonathan Aranda is on the team.
Ooh. He had a good year last year.
Yeah.
Randy's on the team.
Dude's got some power.
We're talking about Mexico, right?
Getting to the outfielders. Randy Rosarena, Jaron Duran, Alec Thomas. So, yeah, between Alec Thomas and Jaron Duran, that's some good defense in the outfield. At least a lot of speed.
Yeah, I was going to say it makes up for Randy.
Yeah. So not a stacked team, but it's a solid team.
It's a team that can win a baseball game on any day. On any given day, Jaron Duran can get hot. On any day, Randy can do Randy things. Okay, that sounds different when his name's Randy, but you know, you get my point. So that's what's so beautiful about this is you get guys playing for their national team, and because it's baseball and it's both ridiculous, dumb, but still so fun, they can still win a baseball game on any day.
Yep. And Mexican team's pitching coach is former Dodger Elmer Descends. So there's a Dodgers connection for you. You've also got Tony Perez Chica, who doesn't really have a Dodgers connection, but he's from Palm Springs. So
Austin Barnes isn't on their backup catchers. I just forgot.
No, Austin Barnes is not on the team. Their backup catcher is Alexis Wilson, who apparently he's in the Cardinals system. Played one game in the big leagues in 2020. And actually maybe not even still in organized
baseball.
There's
no way they couldn't find a backup catcher, that is.
Oh, no. So he didn't. Where, 2020? No, yeah, but he's just been playing in the Mexican League since 2020, basically. It looks like he never did make it to the majors. I don't know why MLB's website said he did, but yeah, didn't make it to the big leagues. But he's been playing in Mexico for a while, and looks like a light hitting catcher even in the Mexican League. So Alejandro Kirk's probably getting most of the reps there.
Can't imagine why.
But that'll be fun watching the Dodgers play Team Mexico. Even today, even though it was the Giants, like it's Team USA, it was fun watching. Definitely very excited for the real country versus country games to get going.
Yeah.
It is weird rooting for Alex Bregman. Obviously not weird for you because he's your favorite player. But yeah, he had a home run today, and it's like, yeah, you know.
So there's a lot of guys that you could do that for.
But there's a lot of guys on that Team USA team that I really do like, and so it is a fun team to root for sure. I'm trying to think. Is there anybody who? Go ahead.
No, it's going to be a fun team to watch. Just the star power on it. The pitching is going to be interesting to say the least. We don't know we're going to get Nolan McLean. I'm shocked. I'm sure it's in the contract that Paul Skeens can only pitch a couple of games, but I can't wait to see Paul Skeens pitch.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be. I don't know. I just like watching him pitch. So
Team USA
to see him on the mound.
Team USA has a lot of star power. They also have former Dodgers Garrett Clevenger and Ryan Yarbrough.
Yeah, that's right. They got added because who got hurt?
I don't remember who it was, but. And then
I can't remember who. But yeah, somebody got injured and they added URP.
Yeah. They also have former future Dodger David Bednar, current Dodger Will Smith. You may have heard of him. Former Dodger Clayton Kershaw. I can't pronounce it.
Edward.
They have Kevin's two favorite players, Alex Bregman and Pete Carr Armstrong.
It's a strong third baseman.
They only have 4 outfielders on the team. Can you name all 4 of them?
No. Is Corbin? No, it's not Corbin Carroll. He's not on there, is he?
No, Carroll was on, but
yeah, that's right. He broke his hamate. What? So it's Judge, PCA, and
center fielder is Byron Buxton, or one of the center fielders.
Bucks made it?
Yeah. Yeah, he played today. He was mic'd up by ESPN during the game today.
I can't believe he got insurance to play.
And then the 4th one is Roman Anthony.
Oh, that's right. He hit a homer today, too. That's right. He hit a homer.
Yeah, and then they got Kyle Schwarber as the only DH. Infielders, they've got a lot. And Alex Bregman, Ernie Clement, Paul Goldschmidt, Bryce Harper, Gunnar Henderson, Bryce Trang, and Bobby Witt. First base is apparently the old position on that team. Yeah. Paul Goldschmidt and Bryce Harper. It's weird that Bryce Harper.
I wonder. Yeah, that's weird. They only have 4 outfielders. I mean, I guess you only need. I don't know. I guess it's like you need 9 guys to play positions, and then your bench is just dudes who can hit at that point because everybody you get's pretty quality.
The coaching staff has a lot of Dodger representation. You've got former Dodger Michael Young as the bench coach. Former Dodger coach George Lombard is the first base coach. Current Dodgers coach Dino Ebel is the third base coach. Former Dodger David Ross is the bullpen coach. And former cheater against the Dodgers Brian McCann is an assistant coach. So
can't wait to see if I didn't know Dino was the third base coach. Couldn't get somebody else.
Why?
Well, I have Dino stresses me out. He just does.
Yeah, he's another guy. You only notice when he messes up.
I know. It's a very thankless job. He's like, I would venture he's probably above average at his job.
Yeah. All right. I think that's probably. I'm just scrolling through the chat, see if we missed anything important. I don't think we did. I didn't miss any super chats. So, I think that
Ernie Clement made the team.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that postseason's really paying dividends for him.
Well, he's also. I mean, Clement obviously hit better in the in the postseason than he ever has in a regular season. But he's also a very good defender
Yeah, he's a good
at multiple positions. And so he makes a lot of sense to me on a team like this where he can play all over the field and play really good defense all over the field. Yeah, he's had 2 really good seasons in a row for the Blue Jays, and solid offensively and really good defensively. And by solid, I mean almost average. It's kind of funny. Yeah. So, yeah, Clement, 15 minutes of fame. If you can stretch it out to 16, you might as well do it.
Who's the starting second baseman? Is it Terang?
I assume. Yeah, I assume it would be Terang because he's the only. Terang and Clement are the only guys on the team who play any second base, unless Alex Bregman is playing any second base. I don't know. It looks like
they got rid of Frosty Devers over it. Remember?
Yeah, and he's the only third baseman on the roster. I could see maybe they'd have Gunnar Henderson play a little third since they also have Bobby Witt. But yeah, you never know what they're going to do. But because I remember last time in the WBC, there was somebody was playing, I can't remember now, but somebody was playing out of position in the WBC just because they had a stacked roster. And so let's get this bat in there and move that dude around. So I think we're probably done.
Yeah.
This was fun. This was real. Now this is over. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for the moderators in the chat. Thanks for the super chats. Thank you to all of you again. I apologize that we started a little late, but better late than never is sometimes true, and hopefully today it's true. Thank you to the Bleav Network for having us. Thank you to FanDuel for sponsoring the show. Thank you to Jurickson Profar for being an idiot and giving us stuff to talk about. And good luck to the Dodgers against Team Mexico tomorrow. And I think beyond that, that's all I have to say. Check out patreon.com/realfrg. $5 a month gets you access to the Discord. And all that's left to say beyond that is bye.